Hi everyone, Spider-Man 1991 here, and I'm doing my comic reviews for the week of May 29th, 2013. This is actually a pretty light week. I only have 2 comics. Hopefully this will be a quick review. Okay, so from my only Marvel comic for this week is Captain America number 7. We are close to the end of the first story arc with Armin Zola and Dimension Z. The issue starts off with a flashback to back when Captain America was raising Zola's biological son and Captain America's adoptive son, Ian, and Ian asks him what was Steve Rogers' father like, and Steve tells him that his father was a good man, but he lost hope and eventually left him. But he promises Ian that he's never going to lose hope and he's never going to leave him. Then we cut to the present, which is pretty much Captain America running a siege on Zola's castle so he could rescue Ian. And when he gets in, he's briefly confronted by one of the Zola captains, which are these sort of Captain America super soldier clones that Zola made, which you can see on the cover here. And he's able to make quick work of it, but then he wanders into another chamber and he's confronted by Zola's daughter, Jet Black. And Jet's pretty much, well, we know she's alive. Well, she's apparently alive, contrary to the last issue where we thought Steve killed her. But apparently she was just knocked out, tied up, but her Zola's henchman freed her. Now she's confronting Steve Rogers again, and they fight. They have a huge discussion about whether or not, and Steve tells her that, all of Zola's actions she can't be blamed for. She says he tries to convince her to join his side, and they're also in a torture chamber where one of the members of the Franks are about to be executed. So Steve saves the member of the Franks, and then Jet kind of helps him out with this, and she says that she agrees to help him if he promises to get Ian to safety and give him a normal life. And Steve agrees to that. But right when they start to form an alliance, suddenly Zola's fortress starts moving, and apparently the fortress is actually some kind of battle station. Zola's going to move to Earth so he can begin his invasion of Earth. And so Jet again agrees to help Steve if he saves Ian. So immediately she tells him where Ian's located. Steve immediately leaves the chamber, but just right when he gets out of there, he gets shot, and the last page reveals the shooter to be none other than Ian, who's obviously been brainwashed to join Zola's side. Okay, Captain America number 7. I actually do like this story arc. I think the whole sci-fi element, right now the story arc is really more science fiction than all the past Captain America story arcs we've had before this, which have been more like spy, espionage, action movies. This time it's really more like a sci-fi film. So I think, if you like Captain America and sci-fi, you'd like this story. And another thing that's very interesting is that now we're kind of seeing Captain America in this sort of father figure position. I don't think he's had a young sidekick since Rick Jones, and I think it's very interesting to see Captain America in this sort of surrogate father type of relationship. But unfortunately Zola did get to the boy, and now I think Ian is if you read last issue, you know that Zola started to brainwash Ian in a way. Well, it wasn't so much brainwash or mind control, just more like re-education, like what they usually like to do to what another enemy country can do to some soldiers they capture from another army to kind of re-educate them to their side. Well, that's kind of what Zola did to Ian, and now I really hope that Steve is able to get Ian back on his side, because I do like that kid, and I think his relationship with Steve is a very nice one, and I really hope that's something that Rick Remender uses a lot on the new Captain America series. But yeah, I really can't wait for this story arc to end, because I want to get Cap out. Because personally, I want to get Cap out of Dimension Z just so that we could get another story arc started. Because right now, I feel like it is long and it's not bad. The story arc isn't bad. It's actually very good. However, I think right now, though, you're probably better off just waiting for the trade to come out so you can pick this up. But nevertheless, Captain America, great series. I think Rick Remender is doing a great job on this title. Really recommend the trade when it comes out for this story arc. Okay, next up, the only DC comic, Justice League of America number 4. The JLA has finally found the Secret Society's headquarters. How did they do it, you ask? Well, Argus pretty much Argus has obtained a small little medallion from one of the Society members. Actually Firestorm acquired it, and they took it from evidence or something. Anyways, They bring in an expert. They call in their expert to help take a look at it because the medallion's emitting some sort of frequency that Argus is able to replicate, but they can't exactly identify. So they bring in their expert, Dr. Arthur Light. So while they have Dr. Light working on the coin, they also were able to get the signal to be replicated from Catwoman's goggles before they sent her in to be captured by the secret society. And so now Steve Trevor and the rest of the JLA are able to track down the secret society's headquarters, which has been moved to a forest in North America. And when the JLA we get the New 52 debut of the Invisible Jet. Trust me, it's very interesting when you find it, when you get the full description. And also, Stargirl, who was named, pretty much brought into the team just for poster child. She breaks out of Argus and kind of stows away with the team on their mission to the secret society. So, excuse me. So the JLA finds the headquarters of the secret society. They break in, but right when they do, they find some of Professor Ivo's other androids of the Justice League, and they're attacked by Shaggy Man. Meanwhile, Catwoman breaks out of the chair she was tied in from last issue, and she starts exploring the base by herself. She's briefly confronted by Professor Ivo, but she quickly takes him out. Then she's ambushed by some more Secret Society members. I believe they were Copperhead, Blockbuster, and Signalman. And she's tied to the chair again, and I think this time she's talking to the Secret Society's leader. I don't know who this character is. He's wearing like a purple suit, very pale skin, and the black bowler hat. He pretty much talks to Catwoman, and they pretty much decide to execute Catwoman. And when she says that and Catwoman pretty much threatens them, saying that if anything happens to her, Batman will show up looking for her. And of course, the leader just goes, "Good, we want that." And he shoots her in the head, and it seems like Catwoman's dead, and that's where the issue ends. Well, not the issue. There is a backup story to this. There are backup stories to the Justice League of America series featuring Martian Manhunter, and in this backup, we see as he's fighting Shaggy Man, and Shaggy Man can apparently breathe fire. We start to see through flashbacks why Martian Manhunter has issues with fire, and it's not like a fear of fire. It's more or less fire was actually the cause of the destruction of all the Martians on Mars, and it's also the fuel for all his feelings of isolation and he still has survivor's guilt over how he didn't perish with the rest of his people. So really a lot of issues Martian Manhunter has with fire, and that's kind of explained in the backup. But nevertheless, JLA, I think it's a great series. It's very interesting that we have a government-sponsored Justice League here, basically. And also, side note, we do get a revelation about what. We learned that Green Arrow was actually cleared for initial membership. Was initially going to be part of the Justice League to help take down. Remember when they were kind of picking members to go against each member of the Justice League? Well, originally they wanted Green Arrow to go against Batman. However, Trevor requested Catwoman. Gotta admit, that was probably a better decision, but nevertheless, Green Arrow is still on managed to find a way to get on the JLA. Yeah, still, I think Justice League of America, so far, it's a great series. I mean, there's a lot of action. Oh, yeah, and Dr. Arthur Light, as he's inspecting the medallion, I forgot to leave this out, but right when he gets to it, suddenly someone contacts him, says, "Hello, Doctor," and when he takes a closer look, suddenly the medallion explodes, and he's left in this sort of like hard light form. So, yeah, New 52 Dr. Light briefly appears. Overall, I think this is a great issue. Do I think Catwoman's dead? No, not really. I really don't think she's dead. I think the last page was really just for shock value, but nevertheless, Justice League of America, very nice series. I really do recommend that people should give this a shot, especially if you're going to read Trinity War. Actually, I think right now we're probably getting towards the end of the first story arc, so when this comes out in trade, I would definitely recommend getting the first trade. I think Jeff Johns right now is doing a good job on the Justice League titles for some of them. Can't wait for pretty much at this point, everything's going to start leading into Trinity War. I can't wait to read that. It looks good. Looks like it's gonna be awesome. Overall, Justice League of America, definitely a buy. Okay, that's it. Don't really need to do a recap because it was just two. Little recap or anything at the end of this because it was just 2 books. So yeah, thank you for watching my comic review for this week. Thank you for subscribing to my channel if you have. If you didn't, please subscribe if you like this video. And that's all. Spider-Man 1991 saying see you later.